Hey, this is SynaMax. In this video, I'm going to show you how I wrote the music for the first half of the animated movie, The Sky Below. Before this, I haven't done a lot of scoring for movies, just various small projects here and there and some sound effects work. This was my first really big project, so I wanted to make sure I could produce something that could really help sell the emotion of the scene to the audience. I first met Charlie through YouTube back in September 2019. He left me a nice comment on a Metroid Prime inspired track that I had just uploaded called Cyclo Shrine. I was really flattered. I've seen his videos before, so I already knew the high quality caliber of his work. So to receive that compliment from him meant a lot to me. I reached back out to Charlie, thanked him again for his kind words, and said he could hit me up if he ever needed my services for music or sound effects. It wasn't until March of 2020 that Charlie first told me about this thesis film he was working on, and that he wanted me to write about 2 minutes of ambient music for it. He sent me the animatic and a picture of the work-in-progress Enli puppet. I immediately fell in love with Enli's character design and the mysteriousness of the environment and the complexity of the monster sequence. Again, knowing Charlie's work, I knew this was something special. I also knew it was going to be pretty difficult to pull off some of these shots, but I knew that if anyone could do it, it was him. Initially, we decided to split up the cues so that way Charlie can edit them to better match up with the animation. There was placeholder temp music in the original animatic, so I used that as a guide. Here's a demo of Verdant Discovery, which is the cue that plays when Enli finds the plant bathed in light. Charlie wanted some more choir and percussion, so I whipped up a second draft. I also added some reverb to help reinforce that cavernous vibe. When it came to the first cue, The Temple Above, it featured a minimal sci-fi beat. We quickly decided it was unnecessary since it's a bit too techy and out of place for the setting. realized that in this version, the choir was too low in pitch, and it just made the cue sound too dark and muddy. So I transposed the choir up an octave, And that's when it really started taking shape. The slow vibrato synth that plays when Enley notices the wall was originally matched up with him eating the bug, but Charlie felt it was better to use that sound later instead. I replaced it with a synth pad I first heard in Metroid Prime 1, this interesting string preset from my EMU Proteus 2000 sound module. The preset in particular has a slow filter with a lot of resonance, so it has this sweeping aspect to it that I thought worked well with our hero's disgusted reactions. As I'm going through my correspondence and notes, I realize that I'm writing the script on the 1-year anniversary of when I last spoke to Charlie during the film's production in May of 2020. I pretty much thought my work was done, and I didn't hear anything from him until 10 months later, March of this year. He told me that he animated a brand new intro to the movie, and he asked me to extend the original cue to fit. I opened up my original project file, and I added a new beginning section to the cue where it references this ambient Proteus 2000 clang noise that I first used for Enley walking through the temple. I wanted to use that sound to emphasize his alien mysteriousness and the fact we don't know who Enley is yet. Then, when we fully see our hero for the first time and we understand his struggle, I brought in these melancholy chords that I thought worked really well as an emotional backdrop. Lastly, I added the synth pads from before and merged the new intro with the original cue. The Timothy Swell sample here gives us a nice transition that ties everything together. It wasn't until the movie was released on YouTube that I saw The Sky Below complete with sound effects, animated special effects, a title, and closing credits. Even though I saw Enley break out of the glass before while writing the music, it was a completely different experience when watching it in context of the movie's story and with completed editing. I can't tell you how happy I am to have been a part of this production. I'm really proud of the work I contributed, and I'm just as equally proud of Charlie with how hard he worked to make this a reality. It was an absolute honor getting to see Enley and his world slowly come to life as the film evolved from sketches and color scripts to animatics into finally a series of stop-motion frames. I'm so grateful to have had this opportunity to share part of that process with you. This is SynaMax. Thanks for watching.